Hello everyone, welcome to my video series on OpenShift Container Platform and Kubernetes. In this video series, I'm going to cover how to set up OpenShift local instance. First step is go to my OpenShift workshop repo here. I have some links inside the 1.0 readme file here, right? So this steps are simple. Um, First you need to install Docker for Mac or Windows or Linux, whichever is your OS. So choose one of them, and then you download the OC binary and add it to a path. Once you download the binary and add it to path, all you need to do is just do OC cluster app to install a local OpenShift local instance, or do OpenShift cluster OC cluster app dash dash metrics if you want to have metrics enabled along with the installation. Right, let's get started. I'm using Mac, so I'm gonna click on this Mac link, or you can just type in Google Docker for Mac. You should go to the Docker for Mac link here. Just click on this Docker for Mac and then download the binary and then install it. Once you install it, you should get the like this, right? And then choose Docker for Mac stable or beta. Once you install it, you should see a icon here that shows Docker is running, right? That's a prerequisite to install OpenShift. And once you're done with that, let's go back to my repo. You need to download the OpenShift binary that you can find it from github.com OpenShift/origin releases. Click on this, and if you navigate on this page, you should see a release um, like this verified, and you should see your binaries available for different platforms. This is for Linux, this is again for Linux 64-bit, this is for Mac. So mine is Mac. If you're using Windows, you can choose this. So just pick the one which is suitable for you. Once you download that, you're gonna extract it, so you get the OpenShift binary. So I'm going to extract it, and you can see I have my binary inside this. Okay, what I'm now going to do is move this to path. In Windows, you should know how to add this binary to the system variables to the path. On Linux, it's going to be like this. So I'm going to move this downloads directory OC binary to user local pin, so that I have my OC on my path. So for type OC, you can see I have my OC binary installed now, right? Let me make it bigger. So OC -H, that will show you help messages. All right, once you have the OC binary and once you have your Docker running, all you need to do is OC cluster app. That's all you need to run. Okay, if you want to take it down, all you do is OC cluster down, and it should take the cluster down. Okay, so we're going to start a new OpenShift cluster. For that, I need to do the OC cluster up command. I have a previous version running, so I'm bringing it down. So once I have it, OC cluster up dash dash metrics equals to true if I want to have metrics. If you think your system is of left configuration, I would just go with OC cluster up command. So once I do OC cluster up, it's going to do all the initial setup and whatever you need. So it would need to have a origin Docker instance run, origin container running, and also some other supporting containers running. So it's going to start up all these pieces and glue them together so you can get started with OpenShift on your laptop. So let's wait on few seconds for it to complete. It's also going to create a default namespace and also a set of users so that you can get started with OpenShift. So it's now creating my project. That's a sample project, and you can also see it also created a user as well. So this is where my OpenShift cluster is running now, and the default user that I have is developer. And if I want to log in with root on this cluster, I can use this command. So we are going to cover all these pieces now. One important piece that you need to take a look is if you type docker ps, you can see all these components are running. Okay, so these are created by OC cluster command that we have. Let's clear that and log into this URL. You should accept certificates on the first go if you have any, and you can use the default user, this one, developer, and password is developer. Actually any password will work. This is not really authenticating anything. So once I log in, I have my, you can see my project created, and I'm inside the namespace. Okay, and I can get started with OpenShift container platform. One other catch you need to take care is I can actually log in with a different user as well. Let's say my name is C Jonagam. So by default, any password. By default, this cluster, the OpenShift cluster, has no password enabled. You need to go edit some configurations to make it password enabled. Okay, so if I can actually log in with C Jonagam, my username, and then start creating projects. So let's say I want to make C Jonagam a cluster admin. All I need to do is log in as cluster admin user. So this is the command that you need to run. OC login minus use system admin. It's going to use the local certificates to log in. Right. Once I logged in, I can make this guy a super admin for the cluster. So you can see for now I don't see any namespaces on my list, right? I can create one, but I want to make this user a super admin, so this user can see everything inside the cluster. So there are some namespaces already created by default, which are needed for maybe infrastructure and also routing, and those are not visible to a normal user. I'm going to make this user a system admin, so that cluster admin, so he can see everything. Okay, so once I log in with super admin like this, all I need to do is OC ADM, that's for um, administration commands and policy, and after that add cluster role to user, right? And then I want to give cluster admin privileges to this user called C Jonagam, right? That's all. Once I do that, you can see my namespaces are different now. I got access to all the namespaces inside OpenShift cluster. Let's go and take a look in default namespace. So default namespace by default runs very important components of OpenShift. That's a Docker registry, inbuilt Docker registry, and also the HA proxy router, which is used for exposing the applications outside of OpenShift cluster. Okay, it also has a Kubernetes service inside, but this default namespace holds the important pieces like registry and router. Okay, and if you logged in, if you have started your cluster with metrics, you are going to see some components in this OpenShift infra namespace. All right, you can ignore all other namespaces for now. OpenShift namespace is typically used for, if you put something on OpenShift namespace, that's going to be available for all namespaces. That's what it is meant for. Okay, if you want to make individual users to admins for individual namespaces, you can just use this command for that. Okay, all right, so let's go and see how it is relevant to Kubernetes as well. So when we install OpenShift, it also installs Kubernetes as well. So OpenShift is nothing but a wrapper on top of Kubernetes to make it enterprise ready. So I can actually execute kubectl commands as well. So you can see kubectl get nodes gives me a node, and also the same command with OpenShift client as well. So both outputs are same. So actually the OpenShift is using kubectl. It's a wrapper on top of kubectl, but the OpenShift client has more features when compared to Kubernetes, but underlying it uses the same Kubernetes um, technology. Okay, so if you do OC version, you can see what version of Kubernetes you are using and also what version of OpenShift you are using. All right, that's all is part of the setup process. You can watch my other videos for a complete overview of OpenShift. Thank you very much.